Hello, everyone. Here we are for our July meeting. All right, we're going to call this meeting to order. I have a motion. I have a second, whatever we have.
Second it.
Okay, we're live. I guess everybody took a look at the June minutes. Nobody got me any comments. So I'm assuming they're okay and good to go?
Yep. Good to
Okay,
go.
all right, they will go out tomorrow. Okay.
Well, we have to make a motion to approve them.
We have to make a motion to, you're right.
Yeah, I will make a motion to approve the 6-9 minutes as revised.
I'll second it.
Seconded. Yep.
2 seconds.
Okay.
All in favor?
I guess we need an all in favor too, right?
I
Okay.
Aye.
I think I never did this before. There's days when I just forget. Okay, now that trauma's done. All right, tree planting. All right, so we're still set for October 23rd. Suzanne said she may or may not be able to call in, but I don't know what we're going to hear about other additional tree planting. So if she does, we can get back to that part. The Arboretum planting. Jim, have you, no, you're not even there. What am I saying? Neither one of you are there. I will try and go by to see if anybody picked up any of the debris that was left from your guys' pruning.
Yeah. What if?
Yeah, okay. I mean, and now Alan and I spent, I guess, what, an hour or two. And well, I think we did a pretty decent job, but, and there's not a ton of debris, but there's still some of those understory trees are a little iffy, a couple of them. I think we can wait till the springtime. And while we're on that topic too, the planting is not going to be undertaken this fall because talking with Fernbrook, the scarlet oak especially, they cannot dig that in the fall. And that's an essential part of the plan. So it's really not a big deal. So we're going to schedule that for the springtime, and then they will plant the linden and the scarlet oak. And that also falls in line with the 4 basic forest types that we have in the Compass Arboretum. So this is true to type. So the thing is, eventually we might have to change some of the signage, but we can worry about that at that time. But I talked to Kevin Fenning, the manager, and we're all set for the spring, if that's fine with everybody.
I mean, I don't
Sure.
have a problem with it. If you think that some of the shrubs might need to be replaced, that'll give us time between now and the fall to see what lives or what looks like it's struggling, and then we can just do it all in the spring.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And when Alan and I were out there, I think it was some of the fringe trees that basically died down, but they're sprouting, from the core. And so I think in the springtime, we'll be better able to judge if in fact we can save them, we need new ones. And if we need new ones, of course, we'll take care of it at that time as well.
Okay, all right, well, we'll take a look at that in the fall then. Suzanne, you just got in.
Hi.
So the Arboretum planting is getting moved to the spring because of one of the trees that can't be uprooted at this point.
Okay.
And that was pretty much it.
Yeah. Anything new on the township's tree planting plans?
So, I'll say, Alan, that just with everything we have going on, that there's that plan that you shared with me that has little plans, and Linda was kind enough to price out one of them. I think we're going to be able to get one of those done in the fall, but I'd like to work with you guys on, pricing out or telling me what you think. Like, do those all make sense to you still? And then I'd like to try to get them done in 2022 in the spring. Because of the size of that project, we may have to do I'll say an RFP. I may not mean that word, but some kind of competitive bidding process.
One you want to do in the spring or in the fall of this year, is that the tot lot one?
Which
The one
one?
that you had done, I sent it to you, Alan, last month, Linda, the one that you had priced out. I don't know, I feel like it's over by the softball field, but as you can tell, I'm in a car, so I can't pull it up right now. I'm not driving though. I'm a passenger.
Yeah, I can pull it up and send it to everybody. I think it was one of the tot lot ones, but it only had like 30, I want to say 30 trees,
Right.
something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll send it to everybody what I priced out. And then we can talk about it at the next meeting and see what we want to change out in terms of either species or sizes or whatever. It was just,
Yep.
it was just a quick pricing, so nothing's set in stone.
Agreed. And
All right.
thanks.
Are we talking about a full planning? I think, Suzanne, what you originally suggested was the tot lot, and I think there was a tennis court as well. We would have loved to have finished the Kiola field, but that's not practical till they get that walkway in. So I think this suggestion of yours to move, to these other smaller areas is a good one. But are you talking about a fall planning or a spring planning?
I think we can do like something in the fall, right? Like I believe, I'm going to put words in all of your mouths, right? I believe there's a concern that the tree bank money might go someplace else if we don't start planting trees with it, or at least to put it in a nicer way, you guys really want to plant trees with the tree bank money. So I want to get that moving, right? Unfortunately, like we have limited resources, and in this sense, I don't mean money, I just mean the people to get things moving. So I want to get something started that, something is started, and then I want to keep the ball rolling in 2022.
I think for a large planning like this, Fernbrook, we're probably talking, if we're talking 2.5 to 3 inch caliper trees, which is probably, the best thing to plant in the long run, and also to utilize some of that money. So for 30 trees, we're talking roughly about $9,000. And I think Fernbrook might, for a large project like that, maybe, I know they would transport them, but maybe they would even warranty them as well.
Once we get into a certain dollar amount, and I'm sorry, I don't know them all, we had to go through competitive bidding prices, so I really don't want to speculate too much at this point. Linda, I know I always get confused, but there's some like mixed thought, right? Like not every tree do we want the biggest trunk size planted. I guess it's somewhat dependent on species and whatnot.
I typically don't like it in drier areas, putting a lot of big trees, because then there's just a lot of hydrologic need that's in one area. I mean, what was priced out, keep in mind, everybody, what was priced out is just for 6 to 8 foot trees, probably like 1.5 inch diameter. It was just a quick pricing. This can be changed. I don't mind doing some bigger trees in with this, but I know 30 is not a big number, but this site has no hydrology attached to it. I don't like putting all big trees on something like that. It leads to something's going to die eventually.
So I think
I don't have any issues with that either, Linda or Suzanne. I mean, I tend to prefer the 2.5 to 3 because statistically, that's where you get the biggest bang for your buck. And we're not talking about replacement trees. And I checked the ordinance, and for trees planted on township property, we don't have any caliber limitations. So we can basically plant on township or public lands any size we want. So maybe the best thing for us to do at this time, Linda, is, like we're going to be in Vermont for a couple of months, but if you could maybe scope it out, Linda, and then make a recommendation as to, okay, how many large ones, how many small ones make sense. You have a lot of, experience doing that. So I know personally, I would defer to your judgment. I guess most of us would.
All right, so what I'm going to send you is just what I prepared for Suzanne a couple months ago. And then between now and next month's meeting, I should have something that's a little more
robust.
Yeah.
No, I think that's great because I really appreciate, all of you, but specifically Linda, helping me with this and leveraging her expertise to the benefit of the township.
Now, what about the tot, not the tot lot, but what about the tennis court too? Are we talking about doing both of these? I don't know how many trees we were talking about at the tennis lot. I don't have those plans with me up here, but I don't think it was a lot of trees. Does anybody remember that number?
All I'm gonna
I
say is, you know, we'll move forward as best we can this year and more, you know, more energetically for 2022.
Okay. I think the important thing is to get something done this year. If it's both of them, the tot lot and the tennis court, fine. But if it's the tot lot, personally, I think that's fine too, because
Tennis
it's
court was
a step in the
40.
right direction.
Revere Road, I think it is.
Yeah, it was
Revere Road.
40 trees. I'll send that just so you guys have it to look at, but it was 40 trees that were proposed.
Well, I think with the planning at Patterson, with these smaller trees, and then the top lot with the 30 trees, I think that's, at least for this fall, a nice chunk for us to handle. And then I think in the springtime, maybe, we can get into some of these other planning, arrangements.
And just so we're on the same page before Alan jumps at me, right? We have the work that you guys are coordinating at the farm. That's going to be a volunteer effort, but these other plantings, I'm talking about getting, professional, not that you're not professional, but, hiring someone else so we can do more faster.
Well, I'm in complete accord. I'm in complete agreement with that, Suzanne. I think that makes a great deal of sense, because especially when we're dealing with some trees of larger diameter, a caliper, that's way past, volunteer work.
So on the tree ordinance and the different sections of the tree ordinances, I did have a chance to talk briefly to Jim Majewski in between his vacations. Hope you're listening, Jim, when you come back. And he's got some other things that he thinks need to be tweaked. So the bottom line is he's working on it. I'm going to talk to the other supervisors about it, and then I suspect something, meaning sooner or later something will come back to this group so we can get your input on it. I'm sure I'll get this slightly wrong. One of the issues that has come up is the buffer between farmland and houses and how the trees along that are handled. So that's all I can say, because I don't really know more. But as soon as we get it from Jim and it goes to the board, then it'll come to you guys and we can all weigh in and talk about trees, which apparently I like to talk about a lot.
Yep. Well, they're nature's greatest creation, I think. So it's
me.
warranted to talk a lot about them, I think.
Aren't I that? No? Okay.
Oh, you're from the gods, Suzanne.
There's one other point regarding the tree planting. So when you drive past Edgewood Road, you see some of the casualties from the Keola Park planting. You can see them right on the road, and they might be more inside. I was wondering whether we should do something about it this fall.
I wouldn't, let's just do it when we do Keola all together. It's just going to be too hard trying to maneuver people all over the place. And if we try and get Monica's people to dig all the holes at Patterson and then have to run over to Keola, it's just too much to try and deal with all in the fall. I've passed by, there's at least 3 in the front that have died. I have to go and just double check. And then there's a lot back in the, there was a lot of deer herbivory in the basin that has to get replaced. So it's probably best just to do it all when we do the park all together.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I've been keeping track of them, but there's at least 3 of the big trees that.
Yeah, the big ones. Yeah.
One of them was, I know 1 or 2 of them were the red maples, and then I forget what the other one was. So we'll figure that out. And then, yeah, when we go to do Keola all together, we'll just replace everything at that time. This way everybody's already set in one big area.
Sorry, what or where is Keola?
Oh, right across from the township building.
Okay.
It's the baseball fields.
Got it. Thank you.
We did a planting in 19, 18, 19? When did we do a planting? 2009, fall 2019. We did half of the planting, and there's still more to be done, but they're proposing to put in a walkway. So we can't do the rest of it until the walkway's in first.
Thank you very much. Great.
Yeah, this was a high EAC priority because of the high visibility. It's right across from the administration building. And we had these, new fields, but they were kind of barren. And I think it was really, really smart of us to consider that first. And then, of course, we'll finish it up as, that walkway is completed. But it sets the tone when people visit our township and they visit the administration building. In a couple of years, they're going to look across the road and see something quite beautiful.
Guys, I'm on the move, and if I lose you when I get home, I'll fire up my laptop, but so you can't see me, I'm still here.
Right.
Hi, Paul.
Or Mike, Susan and Mike, Susan and Paul.
All right, so, Ellen, land use plans.
Land use, I listed 4 projects. They're all relatively minor. 2 involve taking a lot and splitting it in 2 and building a house on the new lot. And the other 2 involve lot line changes. The 2 involving the subdivision of an existing lot before the zoning board. And we usually don't make comments on projects before the zoning board. So this is more informational. One of them's been on our radar for a while. It's the Decker project at West Schoolhouse Lane and Woodland Drive. It's near Jim and Jean's house. And that's the one that they're trying to get variances to allow them to develop in the wetlands buffer and floodplains. And that one has been going on for a while. It's going to go before the zoning board on July 20th. So I don't know. Hopefully a decision will be made one way or the other then. And the other one is one I haven't mentioned before. It's the Jennings lot, which if you're not familiar with that, you take Main Street out of Yardley, and go maybe a half mile, and where Dolington intersects North Main Street, if you go across there, it's that lot there. It used to be maybe 10-acre lot Jennings had, and he sold 3 acres of it to the township for open space that provided access for people that are on Main Street to get to the canal, because the canal borders the eastern edge of the property. So right now it's about 6.5 acres. He wants to divide it into 3.25 acre lots each. And so it's going for the zoning board. He doesn't have any variance requests for natural resource land, which is surprising because it's almost all woodlands or water course buffer. But we'll see what happens with that, because if there is a house put on the new lot, it's going to have a lot of environmental issues. So we'll watch that. And the other 2 are lot line changes, the Shady Run Road, which is known as Signature Home also. Yeah? Okay. It went before the Planning Commission on Monday, and they recommended it be approved, the lot line change. And what they're going to do is move the lot line to make 2 equal lots, knock down an existing house at this location. It's on Shady Run Road, and I don't
Ellen,
know.
you mean Sandy Run, right? Sandy Run Road?
Sandy Run Road, right. And I'm trying to think of the other road. It might be University. It's kind of away from Edgewood. It's on the other side of Sandy Run Road.
I think it's kind of between University and that college over there.
Is it? I don't know. It's on Sandy Run Road though, and it's near Rock Creek. It's on the other side of Sandy Run Road. So they're going to knock down a house that's there now and build 2 new houses. And the plan, they wanted like 4 or 5 variances, zoning variances. They don't want to put in a sidewalk. They don't want to widen the road, and they don't want to put in street trees. But they do have to put in, or they're going to owe about 30 replacement trees, and they asked for a variance from that. It's actually a waiver, but the Planning Commission recommend they be granted that waiver, and they wouldn't give it to them. because they're gonna have an acre and a half to work with, and it's 30 trees, and there's only like 11 trees on the lot right now, the 2 lots. So, it seems like they could fit them in with no problem. So that's gonna go to the Board of Supervisors in the near future, and they can deal with it. And the Dave Miller lot line adjustment was approved by the Board of Supervisors, their June 16th meeting. And that's the one near Patterson Farm, or next to Patterson Farm across from the CVS. Dave Miller split his lot in 2, and the new lot, or no, he moved the lot line. And the new larger lot may be built on and may not. We'll see what happens in the future, but we may be seeing that. And that's a property I thought would be great open space because it looks right out on Patterson Farm. We'll see. And that's all for the land use development. We still don't know the exact value of the tree bank money coming in from Pickett Preserve. They haven't decided on that yet. But I'll let you know when I find out. Any questions? All right.
No, nice job as usual, though, Alan.
Yeah, mostly minor stuff, but it's stuff to keep an eye on. So, recycling?
Styrofoam recycling, so the next schedule is September 18th. We're doing styrofoam corks, prescriptions. Are we doing batteries, or are we still
That's what
debating
we
on
need to
batteries?
decide. Because there'll be a cost involved with that. I wrote it down somewhere. For every 43 pounds of batteries we collect, it costs $65 to mail them to Texas where they recycle them. So do we want to spend that money? I'm also worried I'm not going to be able to get batteries on the flyer that I've got, because right now it's got styrofoam corks and prescription containers. I have to find room for batteries.
Why don't we just skip batteries this time and maybe do a little more research and maybe find a cheaper way to
Cheaper way.
things?
Yeah, they're very heavy. It wouldn't take many to get up to 43 pounds.
How much did you say the cost was, Alan?
$65.
65?
Yeah, for every 43 pounds. I don't know how they came up with that, but
Mm-hmm.
that's what the website says. So you want to
What about the postage to ship them?
Well, I think that's included in that. That's part of that, $65. Probably that's the main part of it. So I guess we can talk about it at our August meeting, but at that point we got to decide what we're going to do, because I'll generate a flyer after that and start distributing it. And Mark Portman's on board for the September 18th collections. So,
Well, what about setting a date
Holiday.
right now, actually? I mean, it's only 2 months, well, July, yeah, it's only 2 months away.
We have one.
So
we have one.
have one?
Yeah, we have a date.
All right.
We listened to you already, Jim.
All right. When is that, though?
September 18th, it's a Saturday,
All right.
10 to noon.
Okay. Thank you.
And if anybody wants to volunteer, feel free to come.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Alan,
Yes.
do you, was this battery, these batteries that you're talking about, was that the one that you found the website, or were you the one who introduced the idea? Because
I found the website. Suzanne was interested in recycling household batteries.
Okay,
And so I looked into it, and there was a place she thought that might take them. I forget what it's called, Batteries and something or other, but it's near Oxford Valley Mall. And they'll take them, but they charge you. So I didn't.
and what do they do with them?
What do they do with them?
Yeah.
Probably stick them in their trash. I don't know.
Oh, good.
The people in Texas or the people near Oxford Valley?
Right now, the people near Oxford Valley,
Yeah, I have no idea what they do with them. The people in Texas recycle them. They get the metals out.
they do.
Yeah.
But I thought that Kristen Schoenlieber, the pizza box lady, I thought she came up with a different website, or is that the one you saw? I'm
No idea.
sorry to confuse you completely, but
Yeah. Well, why don't you contact her and ask her to send the link again, and then,
yeah, I'll do that. I will. I'll do that. Because I kind of think she had one that it didn't even cost to,
yeah. that'd be
but
great.
I may be making that up. So I'll contact her.
Alan, is it $65 for everything up to 43 pounds of batteries? As in $65 is the least that we would have to spend to recycle?
Right, yeah. They send you a box.
And do we think that we would be collecting less than 43 pounds?
I'd be surprised. Batteries weigh a lot. I mean, I probably have 5 pounds myself of them. It's, the D's, the C's, the AAA's, AA's, those type of batteries. And the 9-volt ones, little square ones.
So this
But-
could add up fast to
Yeah,
quite a hefty thing. Yeah, I think it's worth our considering other options then.
okay, we'll look into see if we can find a cheaper way to do it.
Okay,
So, Alan, regarding the pill bottles, I'll send you some specific text to put on the flyer, because I want to make sure that people do remove the labels.
Right.
So I'll just
Yeah.
give you, and so that they understand why it is being asked for.
Did you have much trouble getting the labels off?
Only some, mostly they're not an issue, but there are some which are made, I think the glue is different and it just doesn't come off. But
Yeah.
most of them are plastic labels which peel off easily.
Okay. Well, wait
So-
till you.
It's the adhesive that's the problem.
In some, there are two types I found. Most of them are
Yep.
plastic. And then if it is paper, it is the adhesive, and that just doesn't come off.
Mhm.
So different pharmacies use different types of labels.
All right. Well, I won't generate the flyer till after our August 11th meeting. But yeah, send me the information there. Maybe I could put out a draft for our
Okay.
next meeting
Sure.
to look at.
Okay.
All right. The LMT Park recycling. You want to tell them what we did, Gene?
No, I want you to.
Oh, I'm going to give you a little bit of glory here. No, we purchased a few, what were they? 4-inch by 9-inch signs that said recycling, plastic, aluminum, and glass. We had like 10 of those, and then we had 4 signs that said trash. And so we were trying to experiment here, and we went to Makefield, and the trash containers near the recycling containers, there was a big mix. People weren't really following very well what they're supposed to do as far as distributing them. And one of the reasons is on the recycling containers, it's hard to see that it's recycling. They're so old, the print is being washed away by the weather. So we put these signs on them, and we're gonna have people watch and see if they improve the recycling. If they do, maybe we'll buy more of these signs and put them up.
And the Kristen Schoenlieber, she and her daughter checked on them for us, since neither Alan nor I is around. And they found that that they feel like people are trying to do their best, but there isn't enough information for them to do exactly what we want them to do. And if we could get bigger, they made some suggestions which make sense to me, and my for one thing, for bigger labels because, people really just won't go that far out of their way. So we have to make it perfectly clear what they need to do. And that's kind of hard, particularly since the township, they're not really engaged with the process at all, I don't think. They kind of plop the bins down and somebody collects them, but there's not really any thought given.
And there's 4 recycling bins behind the shed in the corner of Makefield, just sitting there, and they could be out collecting recyclable materials. So we have to let Park and Rec know.
One
Hey,
thing,
sorry. Go for it, Jim.
I'm sorry. One thing is that we need bigger labels. So if anybody comes across bigger recycling labels, we'd like to hear about that because Alan's been looking.
I think that place, let's see, what's it called? Recycling America, something or other. That the website I sent you, Jean, look there. I think they have larger ones than I purchased.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't had a chance to look at it. I'll take a look at that.
Take a look. They're right there.
Because I think that'll make, that will help.
Actually,
Do we
Suzanne,
need, does the park need any, aside from the 4 recycle bins that are kind of behind the building that need to be put out, is there any, do they need more bins, period, whether they be trash or recycle? Do you think?
Yes, I would say yes. Almost all of the parks, other than Makefield. Makefield has, how many, did we count them, Alan? I think
yeah.
40 cans. And when the last time I checked, say around the pool, there were maybe 4. So they're not, certainly not, what am I trying to say? It's very unbalanced. And so we could use many more in places. And I really don't think that Makefield needs 40. I don't think.
No. Especially if you move them around for the various sports seasons, because sometimes they have football going on and then sometimes it's baseball or soccer, depending on spring, summer, fall. And so you could get by on fewer if you did actually move them around during the year.
Yeah, so we probably don't need to buy any more, but we just need to label them better and move them around
Yeah,
better.
at Makefield, right.
Yeah.
I am curious to go to Makefield and look at this a little more closely because I'm just not familiar with what the particular receptacles are we're looking at.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, because there's a good chance that just our trash containers and our recycling containers can be similarly enough shaped and such that it might not be obvious for people to think of the difference. Do we have a budget for getting new containers?
I think we have a budget, and we've done that before. We've bought recycling containers for the township a couple of times. The outdoor ones that are solid, that'll last for years, they're kind of expensive. They're like $500 a pop. The little portable ones that I think we still have a few left of that are good for special events, they're much cheaper. You can get probably 20 of those for $300 or something.
Okay.
Yeah, so we could do that. We decided.
Now, when we purchase one very permanent $500 unit, does that eat a lot into our budget, or is that a small dent? I don't know what our budget looks like for this.
We know it used to be $4,000 a year.
I think
So,
it still is, Alan.
yeah, so
1,000.
It's a lot.
Okay. Thank you.
So, and I don't think we need more. I just think they need to be better allocated.
Yeah, and Macclesfield, we probably need more in other places in the township.
Yeah, but I mean, I could think we could take some of the ones from Macclesfield. If it wasn't a problem to move them and move some of the ones in Macclesfield to some of the other places. But
I don't know if there's that many in Macclesfield.
no, 40, they're 40.
No, there are 40 trash cans. There's probably 15 recycling, I'd say.
Well, so we could move some of the trash cans. We don't need.
Yeah, you can move the trash.
Do we? Huh.
I mean, I haven't been to Mac in a while, but I would say that, they're probably all needed.
Yeah.
When soccer is a spring and summer sport, Alan, football's just the fall. But, that place is packed with kids weeknights and weekends. And sadly, they fill up really quickly. I say sadly because I wish we, could do a better job on using reusable water bottles rather than just pretending to recycling.
Well, so maybe we do need to buy some for the other parks because there are very few. Again, I haven't been there in a few weeks, but when I was checking on the parks, there were just a few in each of the other parks. So maybe it would
Have
be.
you had a chance to talk to Monica, now that you've counted them all? And have you had a chance to talk to the Parks and Rec people to see what they say about where there may be need?
Well, Alan,
I haven't.
no, but we were going to talk to her. And
Yeah, we tried and we couldn't.
yeah, we couldn't.
It didn't work out. She couldn't meet. So
She was on vacation. She's back, so it may be worth checking in, and we can figure out which way to go.
Yeah. Okay.
we'll do that probably. You're back in September. We'll do that in September, Jean.
All righty.
All right, and Suzanne,
sounds
for your
great.
benefit, September 18th is a hard date for the styrofoam and cork and plastic prescription.
I have a bag full already.
Okay, so yeah, so we're gonna go with that. And we may do batteries, but we're gonna talk about it and think about it more and investigate.
I heard the heaviness and the weight and the cost.
Okay, so you heard that. Okay, I didn't know. All right, so that's it for recycling.
Lecture series. Sumya, at one point or another, you and I have to kind of get together and figure out this macroinvertebrate study for the spring.
Spring, I see.
Yeah.
May, I mean, May.
Yeah, May. But yeah, I think I'll text you with some dates that maybe we can, like, you and I can just talk and figure out what we need to get done so that we're not doing this at the last minute. Like, it's probably nothing that needs to really get worried about till January, but at least if we can do some pre-work before that and then get things set between January and February so that this is all set up for May.
Sure.
Okay.
Guys, I'm going to have to drop off again. I did want to tell you that I haven't seen the agenda for the next board meeting next Wednesday, but I believe there's going to be a robust and exciting conversation about basins. It's another issue that you guys care deeply about. So once the agenda comes out, I'll circle back. But if you could all, set your DVRs or,
Okay.
join us for that conversation.
All right, in the meantime, what time is the board meeting? You said what date?
Next Wednesday, a week from tonight, 7:30.
Yeah, okay. In the interim, Suzanne, perhaps you and I might have a phone call because, discuss that matter, because we're actually the ones who set up that program initially. And,
It's like you think I have no memory.
no, I'm not saying that, certainly. But It's very, it was kind of complicated what happened. And
Yes, and I'm happy to say that I think you'll be, maybe not excited, but I think we're moving in the direction. So why don't we hear what they have to say, and then let's talk about it. So
okay, you mean after the meeting then?
yeah.
Yep. Okay, all right, that sounds good. That sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, I have to drop off as well.
Thanks,
so-
everyone.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Thanks, Suzanne.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Sumya.
Bye.
And Sumia, you have to go by.
Yeah, bye. Thank you.
Okay, Soumya,
Yeah.
getting ahead of ourselves here. The community day, would you be a volunteer or not? A 2-hour?
Oh,
Slot.
that's the weekend. We may not be here because it's that just before the that long weekend. Or it's
Okay, because we need at least 4 people if we're gonna do
Yeah.
this. So I'm just-
What's
if
the
my
date on that,
plans
Alan?
change- If our plans change.
August
I'll-
28th.
I can be there.
Okay, well, we're gonna talk about it later. I just wanted to ask her before she left. All right,
Okay,
so you're,
I can, looks like I can stay for a bit. I just got a message. That's why I'm good.
okay, so you're gonna stay. All right.
I can't make September 18th. I'm going to a wedding in Virginia.
That's okay. We only need a couple people for that.
Yeah, I think it'll be the first one you've missed, Paul. So you're allowed.
Yeah.
All right, I guess the next thing is the bugging Pennsylvania trees. What my suggestion is that why don't we pick 2 tentative dates and let me check with Colleen to see if she's available. Now, I assume in September we will be live. Is that a good assumption or a bad assumption?
Going back in September,
Who knows?
right now, I can tell you that.
What did you say, Linda?
Would you?
Schools are definitely going back, well, in August, I guess.
Oh, the
They're saying,
schools.
we've been told for now, they're going live.
All right, well, why don't we just plan on that? Plan on it being live. I'll check the dates that we come up with Colleen, and we'll go from there. Now, the thing is, Jean and I tentatively we're leaving on October 15th for about a month and a half, but I was thinking like Saturday, September 25th, or Saturday, October 2nd. I think they would both be good dates, at least as far as I'm concerned. Do you have any issues with those dates?
The 25th is the cluster in politics for the Democrats.
But that's at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
amazing.
10 to 12 in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Harvest Day is on the 18th, September 18th. So that wouldn't affect it.
Yeah, all right. Then why don't I check with Colleen and see what her availability is? And then, even before the next meeting, when I find out what her availability is, I can, email people to, get them set up for the next meeting.
When you talk to her, Jim, can you ask her about the traps, the spotted lanternfly? I know people have seen the traps design they have at Penn State.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm sure she'll probably cover that, but I'll certainly ask her that specific question.
Because I just went to a webinar last Thursday, and they had a whole big section on that. They put together a trap you can make yourself and attach to any type of tree you can to try to trap them.
Yeah, okay.
How bad is it there now? Because right before we left, we had a whole bunch of babies in our gazebo, just walking along on the chairs. How is it now with everybody?
I've been killing them every day in my backyard.
really.
All right, well, look, Paul, since we're away, why don't you go down to your yard too and continue killing some of these? Think-
Well, I've been out every day cutting down bamboo and pulling out the rhizomes.
Yeah,
So I
okay.
see them a lot.
All right, good for you. All right, I guess we're on the next item then.
Oh, I wanted to ask Alan something. I'm sorry. Alan, are both of the harvest days, are there still 2 harvest days?
It's only listed as the 18th right now. I just checked online.
Oh, okay.
That's the Yardley one. I don't know if there's still 2. Who cares?
Maybe one in
Who else does
Newtown.
who else? Oh, Newtown does a harvest day? Oh.
But
No,
there's 2
no, we-
organizations in Yardley and Lower Makefield.
Yeah, it's Yardley and Lower Makefield. It was anyway.
The 1 year.
Oh, just 1 year? It's not that way anymore?
I don't know if they work out their differences.
Hopefully.
Okay.
What's in a name?
Yeah, right.
What end of the egg do you break your egg on?
All right, I guess we're on the item 7 then, is that? Yeah, I don't have a printed out agenda. I just, because I don't have a printer here, so I just kind of wrote things down. I guess that's the next item.
Yeah, newsletter, webpage.
Yeah, I have webpage newsletter here, Paul and Sumya.
We should put out a newsletter for the recycling, the styrofoam recycling.
Yes.
I have information for the next every bit counts. I have to write it up. I have pictures and information. I have to put it together. It's on backyard buffers.
Also, item 8 is the ESA award, and within couple of 3 or 4 days, I'll send you a short article, both to Paul and Sumya, that
Okay.
go on the web and on the in the newsletter as well. It's not going to be a big deal, but just paraphrasing what the award's about and that we need, nominations, that sort of thing. Okay.
All right.
So
Sounds good.
maybe in the same one with the recycling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Should we wait a little bit for the newsletter till we find out about the lecture date? The what's bugging trees in Pennsylvania? How soon
No,
do you-
because then we still have to do something for the Patterson farm planting. So why don't,
Right,
could we do a newsletter now and then do one in September?
We're
Or,
just doing too much.
I know.
No, that's a good idea. And we can reiterate anything we need to. Yeah. All
I'd
right,
be
so
happy
Paul-
to help with editing newsletter if any assistance is wanted. I have an editing background, by the way.
Paul, yeah, why don't you send it to him, Jonah? Okay, Paul?
All right.
All right. And again, I'll have that information in, excuse me, 3 or 4 days. And I'll send that to Paul and Sumya. And Jonah, I can send that to you too if you want.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, I guess. Yeah, that took care of item 8 too, so I guess we're on item 9 now.
Odds and ends.
Kevin's not here, so then that brings us to the letter that Alan wrote.
The draft, right.
Draft.
I had 2 issues I put in, open space and naturalizing detention basins. And then I was hoping Kevin could write something about solar panels on the township building, because currently there are 4, and you can get a lot more up there. And I mean, it'd be great if the township building and that whole area, the maintenance shed behind there, used renewable energy. I think there would be a feather in the township's cap. And does anybody have any other ideas? Because we could just add it to the letter. There's no big hurry on this because it's going to take a while.
Could we do what some townships do and do the solar panels along the, is it along the streetlights or along the, have you seen that? I see
Oh
it
yeah,
in
up on the
Jersey a
street
lot.
lights, yeah.
Yeah,
You
I don't
can't-
know what the cost is involved with that. I know, I see it in Jersey a lot. I don't really see it in PA a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I was hoping Kevin could help us with this because it's kind of in his field. Maybe I'll send an email to him specifically asking what he would recommend. So yeah, think about things and you can just add them to the draft letter and we can talk about it next month.
All right. Sounds good.
Sounds great.
Oh, so I'm telling Monica that we need a table for, or we're gonna have a table for community day then?
Well, I figured 2-hour shifts and maybe 2-2-hour shifts. It goes on beyond that, but that's asking a lot of people to stay there more than 2 hours at a table. I know I have a trouble staying more than 2 hours.
Alan, from
So-
what time to what time is community day, or the
That's
hours
what
you have in mind?
Suzanne would tell us, but she got off. It usually starts around 11 or noon. And so if say it started at 11, we'd have 11 to 1 p.m. shift and a 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. shift, and then probably just close down after that.
Well, when does it end though?
When does it end? Probably, well, they have fireworks usually, so most of it ends around 4 or 5 o'clock.
Are they gonna have a dunk tank again so we can dunk the supervisors?
Hopefully.
What's the date, Alan? Do you remember that?
28th,
28th of August.
oh, 20th. the tw-
August 20.
28th.
Yeah,
All right.
So I could do it.
I can do it.
Jonah Paul can do it. Can you do it, Linda?
I'm out of town.
All right. Well,
I should be in town. What would it entail? It would be like taking information from people, or like what would?
Giving out and taking information.
Okay.
yeah, we have handouts. We have a bunch of grocery bags in the township closet there where we store stuff. Jean, remember those grocery bags, cloth
I
ones?
sure do.
So we could give away those. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a big pile of them in there.
And there's tons of information in the downstairs conference room that I guess the employees still use for their kitchen, behind those doors in the back. And there's also the EAC pamphlet, display in the main building's, entranceway. So, and by the way, somebody should consider maybe updating that with some of the pamphlets that are downstairs. I think the person who was doing that is no longer on the EAC, so,
I'll do that.
okay.
We had some stuff at the community center. I guess that's opened up now again too. I can restock that.
Wait, remember we had that man at the meeting a few months ago, and he said he wasn't interested in enjoying the EAC, but he wanted to volunteer? Remember?
Yeah. We could ask him. Hopefully, if Kevin will do it, then we'll have 4 people. So it's kind of up to Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that should be plenty. I mean, when we did
Let's-
in the past, the community day was just an absolute huge event. We had like 3 people there at a time.
We had people signing the pledge not to use grocery bags.
Right.
Use the ones we were giving out.
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of that, I was at the Giant at Morrisville today, and the cashier actually said to me that Philadelphia is moving towards removing plastic bags, and then that might actually spill into here, because she was saying like start buying recyclable or reusable bags.
Yeah, we had thought.
Yeah, I was actually really happy. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, that's good.
We had thought about that years ago here, and
Yeah, and everybody nobody wanted
was-
to talk about it. Like, not that we didn't want to talk about it, but the grocery stores didn't want to talk about it. But it might actually be a reality now.
Yeah,
well, I think
wow.
now, because before it wasn't only the grocery stores, but it was the Board of Supervisors as well. But the climate has changed now, I think, just like the dog park, issue that we got involved in years ago. I think now we would probably get a positive reply, but this is no easy thing. This is going to entails a lot of work and effort.
Two thoughts. Sorry, just one circling back to Community Day, and then I'll come to the shopping bags. One in terms of Community Day, Alan, if you need someone for the 1 to 3 slot, let me know and I can check with my family if I can make myself available for then. And in terms of the shopping bags, I believe that I've lived in places where the grocery stores have disincentivized people from collecting the plastic bags by starting to charge people for the bags. I don't know if that's a thing that we can institute at the township level. That might be beyond what we do. I don't know.
Yeah, we were working with ShopRite for a while, and who is usually fairly progressive, but they absolutely refuse to do anything like charging people. And I have a feeling that that would not be a good thing to do in Lower Makefield. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, there are certainly people that would go along with it, but I don't know. The ShopRite is fairly green, but they just, they would not talk about charging.
Well, actually, 2 days ago, I went down to the Co-op food store in White River Junction. And when the order was completed, the woman said, do you need a bag? And if you do need a bag, they only had paper bags available. So, I mean, it's coming around, but that's maybe something we could put on the agenda in a future meeting, because that's a big deal. And as I said, it's more than, that project takes a great deal of time and effort.
When was the last conversation with ShopRite?
Well,
Oh, wait a minute. We got,
It was before COVID.
yeah, we got kicked off.
It's been a while.
Excuse me, Jane, we got kicked off here. None of the images. I wonder if my computer is running out of juice here.
We can see you.
You
To the
can?
top of your head.
Oh, we can't see you.
Right?
Make funny faces at us and everything. But Jonah, to answer your question, it has been a while.
Yeah, I feel like, as we already mentioned, I think the climate has changed significantly. I think it,
Yes.
it's an important enough issue. I think it's worth our pestering people just a little bit about it.
Yep.
Well, why don't we put it on next month's
Agenda.
talk about it more thoroughly then, because there's lots of ordinances written all over the United States, about this topic. So it's not like we would have to reinvent the wheel. But I think it would be a good topic for August meeting.
I was in Delaware on vacation and they just put in the ban.
Oh, they did. What was it
Yes.
exactly?
Well, no more plastic bags. You can sell the reusable cloth or plastic ones. And everyone that if you wanted a bag, you had to pay for it, at least the stores I went to. But most people still had paper bags instead. But no more automatically given at department stores or grocery stores.
Right.
Okay. Well,
That's great.
well, that's good. So I think, next month, that's a good agenda item.
Would you like me to do a little research on that and present some different possibilities for this?
Sure.
Yes, that would
Yeah,
be wonderful.
That would be good.
Great. I will put on my to-do list.
Yeah, check out Denver's ordinance. They just passed one and you have to pay for those bags now, the single-use plastic bags.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, the next item, I'm trying to rush things a little because I think my computer is
No, now we're just at open
30
discussion.
seconds.
Wait,
Yeah,
can
we're
we,
just at,
can we finalize Community Day? Why don't we wait till next meeting to definitively decide? I'll try and see if Kevin.
No, but we need to let, I need to let Monica
Oh,
know by
August
August 1st. So we
Okay.
technically need to let her know like now, I guess.
Paul, can you get the tent, the cover?
I'll get that from the Yardley Democrats. Yeah, Yardley Makefield
And
Democrats.
you'd have to be in the first shift,
Yeah, no problem.
and we'd have to get all the material.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll
I'll
get the
try to
material
find
from the
out by
township
August
building.
1st.
Yeah, I'll get the material from the township building and get the tent.
And get the bags, the grocery bags.
Yeah,
And I could have flyers for our styrofoam prescription bottle and quart collection.
Mhm.
Printed up.
I have folding tables also and folding chairs, so.
All right, well, that's good. So Linda, I'll let you know by August 1st if Kevin can also help, because that would give us 4 and we could each take 2-hour shifts and
Okay,
be done with it. Okay,
okay, sounds good.
Sounds like a plan.
all right.
All right.
All right, so I think the last thing was open discussion, and Suzanne had brought up, sent everybody something about like the songbird illness issue.
Yes.
But I'm not quite sure, like, unless it's something that maybe we do a flyer for Community Day and put something in the newsletter every time we do a newsletter for people to stop using their bird feeders until this is determined. I mean, that's the first I've heard of it. So I think it's just really new, and I don't know what exactly is going on. It doesn't sound like the biologists really know what's going on either at this point.
Yeah, they don't. They know it's not avian flu and they know it's not West Nile virus. But
What's happening? Are the birds dying? I mean, this is the
So,
first.
yeah, they're saying that I mean, I looked at the link briefly. It's just like a big number of birds either severely ill or dying from some unknown cause. And
perfectly
they're
not.
recommending that, people just stop using their bird feeders at this point.
Wow. Now,
Because I think they're not, everybody's kind of panicking that they want to make sure it's nothing that's transferable to humans.
And no bird baths either.
Or chocolate.
oh, darn.
I don't, Paul, is it something that you can put just a quick blurb in the newsletter?
Sure.
Okay.
Is this across the whole country?
No, it's like centered where Delaware, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey meet. That's kind of
Oh,
centered, and then it kind of goes out a little bit from there. It's not everywhere yet. Hopefully.
wow.
They still don't know the cause, virus or bacteria or what.
Right.
Wow.
It's the canary in the coal mine, I fear.
And they're dying rather than just getting sick and getting over it?
That's right.
Yeah. Well,
Shoot.
I can get
Oh,
I think they found 300 so far.
wow.
And if you do find them, put on gloves and put them in the trash.
So I had read best not the trash, but to bury them specifically. I think that's what Audubon and Science Magazine both had written up.
Right.
Do we
Wow.
expect any adverse effects from not using bird feeders on all other species of birds?
Just mentioned songbirds. Yeah, that's interesting.
Right.
No other.
So they're really songbirds. They didn't have any evidence in hummingbirds yet.
I mean, I guess my question is more if people stop using their bird feeders for a whole
Yeah.
summer, how does that affect the rest of the birds that may... I don't have a science background, so I am very happy for people to yell at me the obvious answer. But I just don't know.
From what I understood is the purpose of getting down the bird feeders is to not let birds congregate at a spot so that in case it is infectious, it doesn't spread to other species.
Oh,
So it is just a precautionary thing because they don't know how what happens. So they just want birds not to flock together at a spot, or at least voluntarily create spots which would allow them to do so.
Thank you, Sumya.
Just what I read. Nobody knows that this is just one of the suggestions that they're making in the hope of controlling the spread.
when did it start? How long ago?
A few months, 2-3 months.
Really?
In the news.
Wow.
Join Facebook, Gene.
Well, okay.
You need to catch up.
two-edged sword, Facebook.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. All right, so that is pretty much it for this month's meeting, before Jim and Jean get booted off their own computer. So anybody else have anything else that they want to talk about real quick, or?
Nope.
All right, so that's all we have for the agenda. Do we have a motion to close the meeting?
Adjourn until August 11th.
Until August 11th. So
At 6
moved.
o'clock.
That's 6 o'clock.
Motion.
6 o'clock. I will resend the link closer when I send the next agenda and minutes and all that, but yes.
Okay.
In the next meeting, I'll actually use my plug-in on the computer, so this doesn't happen again.
You got to move the thing down so we see your full face, not just the top of your head.
Yeah,
Look like that commercial they have with the guys. with the
There
phone.
we go.
There you go. Almost.
There you
Yeah.
yeah, maybe. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of the evening, and, we'll see you a month from now.
All right.
We'll get some information on when we're going back live.
Okay.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Thanks,
Everybody-
everyone.
Take care.
You
Good night,
too.
everybody.
You too.